Holistic Health Harry, an Alkalized to Realized talk show. Today, we are joined by a very special guest who also lives very near me. Hi, Alice Carter. How are you?
I'm great, Harry. How are you?
Wonderful this morning. I'm so glad
Yeah.
we made this connection. We talked a little bit off air, and yeah,
Mhm.
I know you're a powerful person. So it's an absolute honor to sit with you and ask you so many questions and get your life story and share it with people today. So thank you, Alice, for doing that.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I can tell. So let's start a little bit with the audience, maybe aware, maybe not aware of you. So how did you end up in the position you find yourself now in the physical health community, emotional, spiritual health?
Oh, so basically, I guess like many people, I grew up quite turbulent, a bit all over the place. I kind of wanted to numb everything I was going through, like emotionally, physically. So I turned to drink, drugs, sleeping around, just anything to block out. I think deep down I was always quite intuitive and there was a bit more to me, but like I wasn't ready to embrace that when I was younger. A lot of my friends weren't like that, and I just really wanted to fit in. It's tough when you're a kid, so I was like, I'm just gonna like be like everyone else. Went to uni, it kind of got worse, just a bit of a mess. But then I had my awakening when I was like 21, and you know, a lot of things started to make sense to me and not make sense to me, as it happens. um, Kind of went very insular, moved back home with my parents, just spent loads of time on my own, kind of assessing everything. But I think the real connection to all of this came when I was 23 and I went vegan overnight like that. I saw a video and I was like, that is what I've been looking for. This is my link to everything, because as human beings, we have this responsibility to look after our world, and we have the capacity to treat everything with the same respect that we treat ourselves. So that was a massive wake-up call for me. And that kind of led me further down my spiritual path, my reading. I became a Reiki practitioner. I got into sound healing. I trained as a theta healer. I did a bit of everything because I just could not get enough of what was unfolding for me. But to be honest, I really think the vegan thing was the big one. And then I kind of went into the world of junk food vegan, like it was really trendy. I was like, it's still great. Like I'm vegan, I'm not hurting any animals. But this connection with health, still like physical body health, hadn't really hit me yet. I was like, but I'm spiritual, it's all fine. And it wasn't until I started like feeling really bad, like my body started to kind of slow down, like shut down. My mental health started to go downhill, and I still hadn't kind of made this connection with what I'm putting in my body and the other aspects of my health, like my mental and spiritual health. And I kind of just touching on, I got into the breathing and I was like, wow, there's something more to this breath work than I had thought. This breath work, actually, 90% of energy you can get through your breathing, like 70% of toxins leave through the lungs. I was like, damn, like this feels really good. And that kind of led me into the raw vegan community, and I got into fruit and the energy in foods, and I started to understand that, you know, the dense foods make a dense body, and the lighter you eat, the lighter you are. And I started to get high, like seriously high of life. Like, you understand, like operating at a completely different level, manifesting things left, right, and center. Like I was like, oh my God. But then I started to eat cooked again, kind of let that back in and slipped a bit. But then again, this year it all hit me again, and I now take superfoods every single day, and I'm just flying. Like, and I realized that the important thing for me to do is to be able to marry mind, body, and spirit. They're a trio. Like, you can't have one without the other. Really, you need balance, and it's all about that balance. So that kind of, in a nutshell, of me just talking for ages, is how I got really passionate about this. Yeah.
So exciting. And in 2020, I feel like it's all happening. So this year you're saying, I mean, you've all been on a path since 21, 23, you're 28 now. So yeah, but this year you say 2020, I feel like there's, same with me, there's just been massive upgrades, and you are ready to receive the downloads and information, upgrade your health. Now, you said about superfoods. What do you mean? What type of superfoods do you take? And what do you recommend for people, and why are they so powerful? Why do we need superfoods? Right.
Okay, so what I didn't realize was so much of the food we eat now, probably most of the food we eat now, is compromised. So no matter how healthy you eat, even if you're eating raw or high raw or fruit, like our food is compromised. There's pesticides, there's heavy metals, there's antibiotics, and the soil isn't good. And this hadn't really occurred to me, like you say, till this year. I was like, I'm eating really well, but my God, like there is so much heavy metal buildup in our body. And I literally, until my friend Sarah Brando got in touch with me and was telling me about all this stuff, like it just clicked again. I was like, okay, another thing that I literally just hit me and I knew. So I was introduced to this incredible brand called Purium, which is all organic, vegan, superfoods, like tested, third party tested for everything, completely clean, like the best quality superfoods. And when I have these, I know every day it's like nature's multivitamin. I have everything I need before I even eat a thing. I wouldn't even need to eat a thing. It's just, I like eating fruit and raw stuff. And these are literally helping me to fight. Like immunity is really important at the moment, right? So you're building immunity from the inside, like you're becoming so strong. And I've reached that point where I'm operating in that way that I did when I was all fruit, but more. So I just know it's like my health insurance. I take it every day, and I have just had this glow and this get up and go about me ever since I've been doing it. And it's just so important. We don't realize serotonin is made in the gut. And at this time especially, we need to be as clean and happy as we can be, and like clear thinking, because parasites and whatnot can get in the way. And then you don't know whose thoughts are actually yours. So keeping our own mind right now.
It's powerful what you just said about the superfoods. You see, I'm going to be devil's advocate here, and this is not my opinion, but people will say, well, we know now that fruits are very ideal food. I also believe that too. When I'm going on fruits, they're very powerful, but people say, well, you don't need anything outside of that. And some people say you don't even need anything outside of breath, which is called breatharianism. And then my challenge to you would be, what is about the super dense nutrient superfoods? Why do we take them, and why do we need them? That gives us loads of energy? What's the reason behind superfoods taking them?
So I feel like superfoods, they give us, our body needs certain things to run at an optimal level. And, I used to take isolated vitamins like B12. I was like, oh my God, I'm vegan, I have to take B12. And our body can't cope with that. Our body is so intelligent. If we having isolated vitamins and bits and bobs here and there from an artificial source, it's like, what is this? Like, they have to work all together. So it's about having the right combination of minerals and vitamins all at the same time, so your body can actually work with that. And it's kind of testament to itself. If you start, like I've just done a cleanse with Purium. Before, I thought I was really good. 10 days later, I'm like, I know what good feels like now. Like, all I can say is give it a try. Like, it's a really good thing to just test for yourself. And once you've done it, the results do speak for themselves. Like, you lose weight, your clarity is through the roof. Like, you feel amazing, you've got energy. I'm so inspired. My challenge would be, do it for yourself, see how you feel, because I can only say how I feel.
Do you take the transformational cleanse, the 10-day transformational?
But I've continued it. I'm just gonna keep going because it's just, I just don't want it to end.
It's like I also work with Purium too, and so you are not just promoting it, but you're actually doing it and experiencing the benefits. Like I said earlier, and you're saying to people, I love this one. You're saying to people, if you're going to bash something like superfoods and say we don't need this stuff, hey, just try it for yourself, see how you feel, and then you'll realize what's the truth about how powerful they are, and you'll knock out any arguments or resistance. But the problem is, a lot of same with urine therapy and so many other things I can think of, sun gazing, sunlight, like people, they'll put arguments against it until, and we're saying is it's very easy to try it, pay a little bit of money, and it's not expensive, this stuff, and it will change your life, and you'll know the truth. Right?
I know. And also Purium are great. They do a complete money back guarantee. So it's not like you're wasting your money. It's like they're so sure that you're going to feel good that you can get your money back. Yeah. It's just such a win-win.
The discounts too. The discounts for new customers, which is crazy.
Exactly. So this isn't a thing of trying to be salesy. It's like you and I were so passionate about this. This is so important right now. I'm just like pleading with people, please take your power back. Like, your health is your wealth. It's the currency. Like, if you're healthy, then nothing can touch you. you're immune from anything bad, like literally. It's
crazy. And it's not just for people. We work with people at any level of health. So people that are this Purium works for any level of health. So if someone's completely new to health, this will work for them. If it's someone like us that's more experienced, it works for them. It loves whatever level of vibration you're at. It will transform you to the next level. And there's always, like, to me, there's an infinite level of consciousness and vibration. You can't ever have a limit. So sometimes people say, why do we need to do this? Why do we need to do that? Because there's because we live in duality, and let's go to the top and see how much we can pick out in duality. Right?
I love duality though. I used to hate it. Now I'm like, I just love it. I'm happy whenever I see anything or feel anything bad because I can work with it now. I'm like, oh, cool. There's another thing. Ooh.
Yeah, me too. That's what ultimately our stories, and you shared a little bit of your story, and you can talk more in depth if you want in a bit. But that's what made you, that gave you the motivation, is what made you go on your journey now. What you've been through in dualities made you who you are.
I love it because we're in a dualistic universe. That is the nature of the universe that we're in. So to have one without the other would be pretty crazy. I feel really blessed that we can now notice that and, you know, accept and almost like love the challenges that we're presented with because we understand the nature of the universe that we're living in right now.
Definitely, this is powerful. So let's talk a little bit about mental, spiritual. I know you're big on these things, and I love to learn stuff about mental spiritual. It's not my mastery, but I love to listen. So tell us a little bit about with your mastery of mental spiritually, what do you do with people, either clients or with yourself, on how you work on yourself that way?
Yeah, well, it began with me because I realized I can't teach unless I am myself in my best place that I can be. So it usually begins as kind of a path of self. And I started to question the beliefs I had and whether they were mine or if they were kind of given to me. And this is what started this. So this is what started my isolation. And I kind of sat with myself and I was like, do I really believe this? And it's in that questioning that you begin to like peel layers off and you're like, who am I? And it kind of goes deeper and deeper and deeper. That led me to, I was like, what do I need to do? And synchronistically, I was put with Reiki, and there's an incredible Jikiden Reiki master just down the road from me, who was one of my teachers and mentors in the end. And I went to her and I got into energy healing, and I was like, oh my goodness, we can heal ourselves. And it's all these things started to piece together. And then I've had a few teachers and masters throughout my journey who are still with me now and help me out. But the Reiki was really the one for me because I realized the power of our own bodies and our own healing mechanisms. And if everyone were to realize that they are their own healer, imagine how amazing the world would be. So I did that, and I've been doing that since I was 21. And then I got into sound healing because as a young girl, I trained in performing arts my whole life. I was going to be on the stage. I was like, showbiz. And it just didn't resonate with me when it got to it at all. I was like, I hate this industry. I'm meant to be doing something else. But I managed to move my voice and my music into this healing modality whereby vibration can heal. So everything has its own way of healing, and it's just like delicious to me. I love learning about it and then implementing that. But anyway, through all of this, I learned that we can take our power back when we realize that not everything that we hear is true, that there is more than one universe, reality, time frame going on at once. There we have the option, literally the option, to choose which path we take. It's not predestined. It's not like, but it's not linear. We don't have to accept any outcome. We can decide the outcome when we realize that we are these conscious creators. And this was also exciting to me. And this is what I now teach others. And now more recently, I've got into sexual healing, coaching, because that's a really important one for me, and taking back our power as human beings. So for me, it's just this huge self-love revolution. I love teaching people about how incredible they are and that they have all of this amazing power inside. And this is like my mission. I'm just here to teach people about how amazing they are again. And it's just like my passion. It's my favorite thing in the whole wide world.
I love it. Your passion is coming across. It's like you're trying to make people remember what they actually are, because I feel like a lot of people have forgotten who they
Yeah.
are. So we're here as light workers to remind you, like, it's not, we're not giving you something that you're not. You've always been that way. So.
Exactly. It's just like a gentle wake up call. Like, come on, you can do this. Because you and I, we started the same. It's just for some reason we were initiated a bit earlier and we started to question things earlier. But that gives us the responsibility to help other people do the same. But it's a wonderful responsibility that I love.
Yeah, it comes across really good. And when you say about sexual healing, so you've been through some maybe some sexual trauma. You can talk about that a bit as well. But like, what do you mean when you say you're helping women and men with sexual healing? What kind of damages happen with these things?
Yeah, like we just don't realize. So when I was younger, through school and college and uni and even a bit after that, I obviously had some abandonment issues. Like I felt not heard. I felt like I could get love from sleeping with people. So literally I was on a mission. I slept with like everyone. And it's so weird now because I'm so different now, but I can look back on it as like this lesson and at the girl that I was and just like, oh, I just want to hug you, like you're fine.
Was that a low self-esteem thing? Because I've got low self-esteem. I still got it now.
A huge amount of it was that because I felt like I wasn't good enough for my parents. I didn't know what I was meant to be doing. And like I said, a lot of it was this like internal fight where I knew deep down that I was meant to be a healer and do these things, but like, god damn it, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to party and like hang out with my friends, and I was like, no, I'm gonna sleep with loads of people. So I did. And every single time I felt empty afterwards, but it was my way of trying to get love. So this went on, and it wasn't until later on that I realized and I learned that every time you sleep with someone, they leave an imprint in your womb. They can create energetic cords that stick into you. They can leech off your energy. And that freaked me out. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have all this like toxic residue in my body. So I cleansed the hell out of myself. I did so much work to remove all these cords. Even recently, I've just gone through a divorce and I had to spend such a long time getting those cords out like of all these places in my body. And it's not easy because, you know, you don't realize how deep they go and you cry. But when you've done it and you've worked with your womb and you've set her, because womb health's so important. Like if you just leave all of the imprints of every person you've slept with in there, that's damaging energetically. Like it opens you up for problems. So to reset that for every woman, and women take it more than men, you know, there is an imprint, but women, we're the receivers. We are the vessel. So
we give out we shoot the stuff and
exactly. The giver and we're the receivers. So we receive all of that. But God, I didn't know this when I was younger. No one really does. We're just like, it's a society of drinking and like, how many people can you sleep with? And I was so into that. So it's been a long road of recovery, but it is knowing that so many people I know went through the same thing as me. And it's working with men, teaching men that just because you orgasm doesn't mean you have to ejaculate. That blew my mind. So you can ejaculate, you can orgasm the same way that a woman does. You can just have orgasms over and over and over again if you can just train yourself. Because every time a man ejaculates, they lose life force. They drop a consciousness level. And if you keep doing it, like porn, bam, 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 you're going to keep getting lower and lower and lower. It's literally parasitic energy. But imagine taking your power back and being able as a man to orgasm over and over again without spilling. You're just building your creation energy. And this gets me excited as well, because this is another way that we can take our power back. And it's another way to tap into like that infinite potential that we are. So I'm putting together a course right now for women, but I'm going to build one for men as well, because I love working with men in this work, because men don't realize. Women are a bit more intuitive. We're like, there's something not right, like I've got this trauma, they can kind of own it, but men are just more straight forward thinking, like, no, we're just gonna keep going. But I could talk about it for hours, but it's incredible work, but it's very spiritual work as well, because it affects every layer of your auric field and can damage it the same.
Thanks for this is amazing, by the way. Thanks for
Going on
making me
about
think,
it.
and reminding me about things that, because we can't see, like, first of all, what you said about energies like transferring from the man to the woman and being imprinted in you. We don't think about that a lot. It's true. We don't focus on it because what we can't see, it's like electrosmog. I can't see the electrosmog. I'm surrounded by it. So this is good focus, and it's very true. And what I think as well is that men, what's going to blow up, I think, in the future is men and semen retention. Because like you said, it lowers the vibration when men are ejaculating all the time. And I feel like there's an awakening right now going on where, and I'm noticing shifts on YouTube where it's just blowing up. If you do videos on semen retention, you will blow up. Like, it's such a huge topic for guys, and you explained it so perfectly, like an ejaculation. And there's more ways that I've come to and discover and learning, and I've got a long way to go, and I want to teach other people, because it's huge for guys to like start getting it like a woman. Like, you can have fun, fun's cool, orgasm's cool, don't seek the goal, but it's more about like raising your vibration, raising your energy levels through having amazing sex with non-ejaculation, and retraining guys' mind that you don't need to, because we've been brought up as guys with Hollywood, and you know this, like, we just see in the movies all the time, it's 30 seconds and it's done, and it's ejaculation. Even if it's half an hour on ejaculation, it can be half an hour non-ejaculation. How about that?
How about 6 hours with multiple orgasms? Sound better?
Yeah. There's a level beyond that as well. I was reading a Montauk Chi book, and not that there's a level beyond the kind of the body orgasm, which is the soul orgasm, where you just like plant medicine, you just dissolve your ego completely and you see the soul of the person you're with. And that's something that's very exciting to me. I'm like, wow, so we've got full body orgasms, then we got beyond that, we got the plant taking ayahuasca, but I'm having sex. Brilliant. Let's do that.
That sounds amazing. Like, there's infinite levels. You can just keep building it. It's never ending. Like, it's just so exciting. But ayahuasca, that sounds fun. Yeah.
All this stuff of plant medicine, ego dissolution, to me is very, very big and fun. So that's powerful what you're talking about. The sex energy work, I feel like, is huge, and I don't think it's an accident that you're in your position you're in now, teaching from your own traumas and sleeping around to now, okay, now my body is sacred and cleansing the temple, and now I'm going to teach women and men how to reach their highest potential. That's what we're talking about, reach your highest potential.
Yes. I know. It's just, it goes in hand with health, spiritual, mental, and it's just, of course, it's just another building block, because sexuality and spirituality are the same thing. We've just been taught that sex is bad, it's just for procreation, but it is creation energy. We were all born from sex. Like, sex is the beginning of everything. That's why it's so exciting. It's like the bursting of the flower open. It's like, it's juicy and amazing, and we should revel in it way more and talk about it way more, because it's normal.
It's not a perversion, and it's not, I used to think of brahmacharya might be the way, celibacy might be, but now I don't think it is for myself and many other people. It's like, oh cool, so I'm still attracted to women, I can still have sex, just a different way, a much better, more powerful, whilst remaining healthy and not ejaculating. Cool.
Exactly. Well, celibacy certainly has its place, because celibacy would be great while you are waiting for someone who energetically matches you, because it's important not to be sleeping around with people that aren't on your kind of level of consciousness, because you lower yourselves to the level of the person that's in the lowest of the scale of the consciousness when you have sex. Like, it's a massive energetic exchange. You're exchanging DNA, you're upgrading together. So it's important to at least find someone who is willing to do the work with you. But celibacy's been really good for me for a little while, until I met my partner, because it gave me time to really delve into that healing work that I needed to do. So it's great.
Life's a great journey, a grand journey, man.
It is.
So let's talk about you do singing too, by the way. I saw your Facebook, you did a really nice song. Was it Elton John's Your Song? It was. Yes. So you're passionate about singing. How did you get into singing? You've always been like that?
Yeah, well, my parents are both classical musicians in London. So we're quite a musical family, but then I found my thing was musical theatre. So I did it my whole childhood. I was going to go to drama. Actually, I did. I went to drama school in London, ready to get onto the stage, and I friggin' hated it. Plus, I was a bit of a mess at the time, like pretty much an alcoholic, like just couldn't really cope with life. So I quit, and then I was in this void, like, that is all I've ever done. What the hell do I do now? But I continued to sing. Singing is, for me, it's just such a connection to the divine, and it allows me to express my soul in the best way. And that's why I got into sound healing, because I was like, I want to use my voice, but in a way to help people. But yeah, so now I've just started doing it a bit more. I felt, because of all the lockdown, I'm like tapping in, like, what would make me feel good? How can I help other people? So I've been singing a lot more, recording, like getting into it, because when I'm in Belize, I want to do loads of singing and sound healing, and I'm just getting back in touch with the voice, because for a long time my throat chakra was closed. Like,
were you shy growing up? As you don't seem it, but I don't know. Were you shy growing up, or a bit more outspoken?
No.
You weren't. Okay.
No, I don't know. It could have been that I was overcompensating when I was younger, but shy, nah. No, quite the opposite. But people, I don't know. When I'm on my own, I'm quite inward, and now I prefer solitude. I'm fine on my own. I love it. But when I was younger, I could not be on my own. I hated being on my own.
Yeah,
now I love it.
Yeah, so I used to have, well, I still do have low self-esteem, but I'm working on it. I'm happy with my journey, but it was really bad. I remember at certain points, you remind me of something, when you're being alone, I remember at certain points I was alone and my brain was screaming for like some kind of attention in a negative light, because that was better to me than being alone. And I remember the screaming brain, it was like insane. So yeah, it was just insane to be alone at that time. Was like way worse than think people give me attention for being a complete weirdo. And I was like, whoa, okay, this is I'm really fucked up. I mean, I'm glad I
The brain works in weird ways, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I feel like I've nailed the self-esteem thing. Like, people lose self-esteem because they want attention, and what they'll do is, if they can't get positive attention, and you require that as a human being, because if you don't think of yourself positive, you need positive attention, you're going to go towards the negative attention. You get addicted to negative attention, you get negative self-esteem, and then that becomes your personality, and then you find like your annoying aunt that doesn't shut up, who's got low self-esteem, and if you tell her she's got low self-esteem, she won't even know, because she's not self-aware. It's like, yeah.
But then when you do the work, you can notice it in other people and feel compassionate towards them.
Yeah, because
you don't find them so annoying. You're like, oh, I know why you're doing that. It must be so painful. Instead of being like, why don't you shut up?
Yeah, I see. I relate so much to low self-esteem. They're my tribe, because I am and I was, but I've also know the brick and brack of how to get out of it. And I see them, some of them, and I don't judge them, but I think, hey, if you're, I can tell when people are on a journey out of self-esteem to better self-esteem or not. I can tell, because they are, the ones that aren't will kind of not be self-aware. So I can tell from what they're saying. They'll say little things odd down, like, hey, you're not self-aware. And it's not a problem not being self-aware, but if you're not self-aware, you can't change. So I think like the key to change is like self-awareness and admittance of what you've done, what you are now, so that you can improve. You've got to admit yourself, because I spent many years of my life lying to myself, and that kept me low. As soon as I stopped lying to myself, I was like, okay, now I can change.
Yeah. And we're the best at lying to ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah.
But the real power comes in being like, I did this wrong, but also forgiving yourself for everything you did wrong. Because there is no wrong. It's just a series of lessons. And it's such a liberating thing, isn't it? When you're suddenly like, oh, I've been doing this thing. Oh my God. And then it's like the breadcrumb trail. So I completely feel you. And yeah, God, I had terrible self-esteem, hence sleeping around. It's the same thing. It's just a different way of doing it. Like that was my negative attention. So everyone just does it in a different way.
It's so true. It's a very interesting topic. I want to talk a little bit about your future. So you said something earlier about Belize. Yes, talk about what does the future entail for you? I mean, you're working with Purium right now. You're coaching clients on sexual work, and you want to go big, and you're very big on Instagram. People should check her out. I'll give you a platform to say that as well. So yeah, with Belize, how does that tie in the tropical country? Because you're in the UK right now. It's a bit different with Belize, isn't it?
Yeah. I was never really meant to be in the UK, let's be honest. This is another crazy journey. When I was 21, I was waking up. I had this revelation. I was like, my life path is to live in a community. At this time, I wasn't vegan, so I didn't know it had to be. Live in a community. I want to live in a tribe where everyone raises each other's children. We're away from this crazy friggin' world that I cannot navigate. I just do not. I can't fit in at all. And I was put in contact with a man who lived in Portugal, and he was opening a community there. It didn't work because when I went vegan,
Who's
eventually.
That, by the way? Was it Martin Kenny? Was it? No, probably not.
No.
Okay.
No. No, but this man was really into the whole everyone's body type needs different food, which, you know, at the time I thought that was great. When I went vegan, I told him and he literally laughed at me. He was like, we're not a vegan community. And that's when I was like, oh, it's died. Because for me at the time, that was really important. And then forward to last year, I went on my fruit cleanse. I was loving life like high. And I got in contact with Nis, who is the owner of Plant-Based Belize in Belize. And I was like, wow, I love what you're doing. I want to do the same. And my parents had some land in Belize. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to buy that off them and build there. And then Nis was like, why don't you come here? And we FaceTimed and we were like, oh my God, we've known each other for like millions of years. We're completely like supposed to be together right now. It just was like this. And then me and my husband at the time went last September. It was mosquito season, so it was tough. But the magic that was there, the tribe, it's on Mayan lands, like UFOs were flying overhead. I was like, I'm home. Like, dude, I am home. But I had some stuff to sort out. So I needed to end my marriage to go back. I needed to begin my sexuality training. I had to do there was loads of stuff I just needed to sort out before I went. And then my good friends all moved there, like a new tribe moved in, and I was going to move back in March, border shut, waiting to go back. But there's a bunch of them out there now, and they're working, feeding Belize and just spreading awareness about what really is going on right now. But the whole reason we're going is because we want to live in harmony with nature. This isn't working for us anymore. We need to get back to basics. We need to grow our own food. We need to live in tribes and communities of people that really have loving and good intentions and love one another. And we trade and we look after the community and we grow that way. And that is just my heart's intention. And that is why I have chosen to live with Nis and all the wonderful people there and help build there. And we're going to have retreats and health retreats and build loads of houses and just have amazing people there.
And loads of beautiful babies and bring the next generation up in a really profound, beautiful way. Right?
Yeah, I can't wait to have children there and to bring them up in the way that I wanted to be. Well, I wanted to be brought up. Not everyone does, but for me, it just made sense. And I really do feel like the fifth dimensional frequencies are going to be more this way. And this is more in line with where I'm feeling the world is going to need to go. Yeah. So yeah, just waiting to get back there. Yeah. But we welcome guests. We love having people there and just building new family. It's so exciting.
That's so powerful. When you think about it, you take a step back and think about, like, you're the person's now saying, I want to leave my country and leave everything I've known to go to somewhere new and start a new life. That's really quite a powerful thing. And for someone that's just, I don't know how to say this, just a normal person, that's quite a shock. Like, so how has this girl got the mindset from to leave everything she's ever known to go to this new community where she does, new people and hang out? It's crazy when you think about it.
The pull is so strong. My heart knows what I want, and people look at me and they're like, you're really high maintenance, and I'm like, dude, like, give me some wellies and no shower and I'm happy. Like, I just want to plant food. And I am a being of the future and of the revolution, and I will always do what my heart tells me to do, and that is to not live this way anymore. I guess lots of people feel this way. I just don't fit in this way. It doesn't feel right. I'm 28. I could never imagine getting a house and a mortgage. I just, like, for me, I was like that. No, I freaked out. I was like, I cannot do this. Like, it does not.
Doing a job you don't love and coming home moaning about it and moaning at your wife that you love and husband.
Yeah, it's friction. It's friction. I'd rather come back moaning in a lovely place in Belize that my back hurts from planting trees than like a shitty customer at work who was mean to me. Because God, I've had bad jobs, but it's more learning. It's like, God, that was terrible. I'll never do that again. So it's just building. It's just building.
And when you say like building as well, because you're quite young, you're 28. I'm in the same position as you, but I feel like it's going to take me a while because I'm new to the health community. I only started 3 years ago. I'm kind of new to this stuff. I'm finding my feet, and I will get there. So so you're saying right now you're ready. That's pretty quick. How does one do that? How does one is watching this get ready, do you suggest they take their time with a transition, slowly build up the mindset? Is it a mindset thing to get in this position? Is it a combination of a lot of things going on in the brain? How does one do this? And should they take their time or just say, hey, fuck it, I'm going to go tomorrow to Belize and take the risk? Like,
I was born ready. So for me, I'm quite impulsive as well. As soon as I know something to be true with me, it's like that. I'm gone. So as soon as I connected with Nis, Pact went. I was like, bye, see ya. I've been waiting for this because I've been ready for so long to do it. As long, like, I guess the fear would be around missing friends or money but I just trust that it would work out. But yeah, of course, some people, they've got houses and families and they're like, no, I've got to be a bit more practical. I'm not very practical. I'm like, this is happening, I'm doing it now. So I completely understand. People are in different places, but for me, I haven't got anything holding me back. I made sure of that. I've always made sure I had nothing here that I needed to tie up. Like, I'm always just like ready to do stuff, and that's just the way I operate. Now I'm just gonna take my stuff. Obviously, like, I'll miss my family, but I have a mission, and it's very clear, and that's my passion and my pleasure to do that. And I say they understand that. They think I'm absolutely crazy, but they love me anyway. So,
you're the black sheep of the family, probably, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I know. It's tough, but we try.
You're really inspirational. Thanks for this information and what you're doing as well. I can't wait to follow your journey. I mean, we work together in Imperium. It's amazing. We're going to learn a lot from each other. I need to learn more about you.
Yeah, for sure. I know so much.
And also, you're so open-minded to urine therapy as well. I'm surprised. Obviously, I don't know people until they're like, I'm surprised when they say, hey, I want to try it, or I'm curious. And I like that about people. Open-mindedness gets you a long way. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got me in trouble. It's sometimes not worked out, but I'm like, oh, that's another lesson. That's so great. I love lessons.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah.
Before we go as well, can you tell us your platforms where people can find you? I know you're on Instagram. Do you have a YouTube? You're on Facebook too. We'll tag you.
I used to have a YouTube when I was more of a blogger model, but because I kind of left that little part of me behind, I'm going to start up on YouTube when I get to Belize. But for now, Instagram and YouTube. So my Instagram is AliVix Carter and my Facebook is Alice Victoria Carter. Yeah.
Right. Cool. And your Instagram is massive. Like, there's so many followers on that. It's totally up there. So never seen this bigger that I know an Instagram following. So well done for that.
Thanks. It was from my modeling days. But like I said to you earlier, it's important. I feel a responsibility if I've got the followers. Like, I need to help people as much as possible. So I feel privileged to have the followers I've got, just so I can help and be of service as much as I can be to those people. Like, I have a responsibility. I can't just be like putting up stuff of me for no, like there has to be a point to what I'm doing. So I feel very on track right now. Yeah, with myself.
Using the power of the divine feminine that you're now tapping into from wayward to use it for the force and to change men too. Now we can start evolving far quicker, which is crazy. So thank you.
Yay.
Before we go as well, is there anything that I didn't ask you or you didn't say that you'd like to get across as a last message to people that are watching?
Oh, a last message. At the moment, I would love to take this time to just remind people to remain in their hearts as much as possible. I know it can be hard, and even I sometimes, succumb to a bit of fear and panic and like, oh, like when's anything going to change? But the thing that really helped me and has helped a lot of people is just thinking, how can I create heaven on earth? And that means right now, like in your reality right now, you might be in your house and you're like, what can I do that's going to create this heaven on earth I want? Be it, gardening or just sitting in meditation or calling someone. It's about just remaining as normal and as light as possible. And that's why, to me, health's so important, because that really helps with that. So just keep being light and keep being honest with yourself, though, and working through things, and use this opportunity to become the best version of yourself. We've got time. Like, what do you really want to do? After this is over, where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? Take it as something really positive rather than, I don't know, the kind of looking at it like it's terrible, because it's not. It's a beautiful opportunity for growth and expansion right now. So please just like really tap into what you want to be doing and what you want to see when this is over. What is your new reality going to be? And that's what I really want to get across to people, that this can be such an amazing time if we just allow it to be.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And I'm going to add in that message every day. Just ask yourself, like, oh, heaven on earth, how can I manifest heaven on earth? That's a really powerful thing to say, because your brain always knows the answer, I feel. It always knows the truth. And
for sure.
thanks, Sarah, for being, and thanks everyone for watching. And this was absolutely amazing, an absolute pleasure to make this connection. So
yeah, thank you so much, Harry. It's been beautiful. Thank you for having me.
That's okay. It was Liz Harry Apple's Talk Show with Alice Carter. Thank you.